Canto 4, Chapter 9, Text 11. Bhakti muhu pravahatam tvayi me prasango bhuyat anantamahatam amalashayanam yenagno solbhanam uruvyasanam bhavabdhim nesye bhavat gunakatamritapanamattah. Please repeat. Bhakti muhu prabhagatam tvayi me prasango bhuyat anantamahatam amalashayanam yenagnyos solbhanam uruvyasanam bhavabdhim neshe bhavat gunakatamritapanamattah. Bhaktim muhu pravahatam tvayi me prasango bhuyat anantamahatam amalashayanam yenagnya solbhanam uruvyasanam bhavabdhim neshe bhavat gunagatamritapanamattah. Bhaktim muhu pravagatam tvayi me prasango bhuyat anantamahatam amalashayanam yenagnya solbhanam uruvyasanam bhavabdhim neshe bhavat gunakatamritapanamattah. Bhaktim, devotional service. Muhu, certainly. Pravahatam, of those who perform, Tvayi, unto me, me, my, Prasangah, intimate association, Bhuyat, may it become, Ananta, O unlimited, Mahatam, of that great devotees, Amala Asayanam, whose hearts are freed from material contamination, Yena, by which, Anjasa, easily, Ulbanam, terrible, Uru, great, Vyasanam, full of dangers, Bhava Adbhim, the ocean of material existence, Neshe, I shall cross, Bhavat, your, Guna, transcendental qualities, Katha, pastimes, Amrita, nectar, eternal, Pana, by drinking, Mattaha, mad. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Dhruva Maharaja continued, O unlimited Lord, kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who engage in your transcendental loving service constantly, as the waves of a river constantly flow. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontaminated state of life. By the process of devotional service, I shall surely be able to cross the nascent ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire-like dangers. It will be very easy for me, for I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities and pastimes, which are eternally existent. Purport. The significant point in Dhruva Maharaja's statement is that he wanted the association of pure devotees. Transcendental devotional service cannot be complete and cannot be relishable without the association of devotees. We have therefore established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Anyone who is trying to be aloof from this Krishna Consciousness Society and yet engage in Krishna Consciousness is living in great hallucination, for this is not possible. From this statement by Dhruva Maharaj, it is clear that unless one is associated with devotees, his devotional service does not mature. It does not become distinct from material activities. The Lord says, Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti kritkarna rasayana katha. Only in the association of pure devotees can the words of Lord Krishna be fully potent and relishable to the heart and ear. Dhruva Maharaja explicitly wanted the association of devotees. That association in devotional activities is just like the waves of an incessantly flowing river. In our Krishna Consciousness Society, we have full engagement 24 hours a day. Every moment of our time is always busily engaged in the service of the Lord. This is called the incessant flow of devotional service. A Mayavadi philosopher may question us, you may be very happy in the association of devotees, but what is your plan for crossing the ocean of material existence? Dhruva Maharaja's answer is that it is not very difficult. He clearly says that this ocean can be crossed very easily if one simply becomes mad to hear the glories of the Lord. Bhavat Guna Katha, for anyone who persistently engages in hearing the topics of the Lord from Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and who is actually addicted to this process. Just as one becomes addicted to intoxicants, it is very easy to cross the nascents of material existence. The ocean of material nescience is compared to a blazing fire. But to a devotee, this blazing fire is insignificant because he is completely absorbed in devotional service. Although the material world is blazing fire, to a devotee it appears full of pleasure. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. The purport of this statement by Dhruva Maharaja is that devotional service in the association of devotees is the cause of the development of further devotional service. By devotional service only is one elevated to the transcendental planet Goloka Vrindavana, and there also there is only devotional service. For the activities of devotional service, both in this world and in the spiritual world, are one and the same. Devotional service does not change. The example of a mango can be given here. If one gets an unripe mango, it is still a mango. And when it is ripe, it remains the same mango. But it has become more tasteful and irresistible and relishable. Similarly, there is devotional service performed according to the direction of the spiritual master and the injunctions and regulative principles of Shastra. And there is devotional service in the spiritual world rendered directly in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But they are both the same. There is no change. The difference is that one stage is unripe and the other is ripe and more relishable. It is possible to mature in devotional service only in the association of devotees. Om Tat Sat Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakata Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitamatan Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsa Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbhishesha Sundavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Very happy New Year to all of you. Today, we've chosen a sloka that is very, very important and relevant from Dhruva Maharaja's teachings, sayings. Here, Dhruva Maharaja is telling, O unlimited Lord, kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who engage in your transcendental loving service constantly, as the waves of a river constantly flow. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontaminated state of life. By the process of devotional service, I shall surely be able to cross the nescient ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire-like dangers. It will be very easy for me, for I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities and pastimes, which are eternally existent. Devotee Sangha, association of Bhaktas, and Krishna's wonderful pastimes. All these are highlighted here. And Prabhupada is explaining that is why the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been started. To provide devotee association. Without association, it is very difficult, almost impossible, to progress in spiritual life. Repeatedly, Krishna is mentioning this. All devotees of Krishna are also mentioning this. Prabhupada is quoting Satam Prasangan Mama Virya Samvido. Satam means devotees, Prasangan means their wonderful association. Also, the Prachetas are praying to the Lord, whom they are able to see after so much of penance and austerity. When the Lord appears, under the waters they performed austerity. There, when the Lord appears, they will pray that Yavatte Mayaya Sprishta Brahmanda He Karma Bhi Tavat Bhavat Prasanganam Sangasyano Bhave Bhave. Bhavat Prasanganam. Whatever different lifetimes we have to take because of our karma, we have to be repeatedly born. We are just asking you of one favor. Wherever we are born because of our karma, somehow keep us in the association of devotees. It's a very humble prayer. Because in the association of devotees, you can be free from Maya. It's a greater chance to be free from Krishna's illusion. When you are alone, you make yourself very weak. You make yourself susceptible to attack. People think that sometimes they judge devotees' association materially and they keep away. I don't like that. Why? Not very sophisticated for me. Not very clean. Not very this, not very that, not very this and that. They make a very big mistake. They make a material judgment of a transcendental matter, which is totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was asked to get initiated by Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, who was illiterate. According to material judgment, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur should have said, "That's the last person I'll get initiated by." It's the last person. I'm such a scholar. When he is just 21 years old itself, he had written commentary and he was, taken by Manipur king to become my minister. Such a brilliant person. His father told him, go get initiated by Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He went and begged to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. He said, I will die if you don't initiate me. There's no point in living. That was his understanding. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. He knew that what my father is telling is correct. I need the association of a pure devotee like Gaur Kishore Das. My material qualification of scholarship is not what should be figured. So, what is the meaning of association? Sometimes people cite that the Goswamis have mentioned sajatiya, same type of people you should associate with. And so they think that it is my community. Nair community, Reddy community, Gounder community, Naidu community, that type of devotee only I should get associated with. Yedo jadagam paathu kalyanam pandra mari. That the same community required, same gotra required. You don't require all this for association. You require whether the person has pure faith in Krishna and a pure desire to serve Krishna. He doesn't mind he's a roadside sweeper. You will see you will get benefited. You may be a professor, PhD, you have got, but if you associate with that sweeper, you may get Bhakti. And you need it. And Krishna puts you in that situation many times. This is my personal realization. In ISKCON, you will see a very heterogeneous crowd of devotees. Everybody will get up and dance and chant and eat together. And many material things they do are not so easily tolerable. So many differences materially. So many differences. But Prabhupada is firmly saying, if you think you can stay away from the association, you are in great hallucination. You know what meaning of the word hallucination? You're dreaming. You are dreaming. You think that you don't need the association of devotees. It's one important point to note. It is, you have to learn to understand what is valuable. What is of value? If you make a mistake, don't think Krishna consciousness should be lived unintelligently. Simply gumballa, just everybody is doing, so I do also. You do it with proper consciousness. Why I am doing what I am doing? It's mentioned in the Shastra. It is going to give me this benefit. It will give also. And you can see it is happening. So Prabhupada started this movement not for Indians. He didn't start it for Americans also. When Prabhupada was told in Bombay by one devotee from America, saying that I cannot work with these Indians, they are cheating, they are too smart, they do this, they do that, and all he was telling. So Prabhupada told him, I am also Indian. He used his own logic and said, I am also Indian. Have I not cheated you? I have shaved your head and put shikha. And the devotee was surprised, and Prabhupada was laughing. I also cheated you. I cheated you into Krishna consciousness. So he was actually saying that although they are Indians, although they may do some things a little way that way, you will get benefit. Of Krishna consciousness you will get benefit. Isn't it? So Prabhupada was very focused on what is the movement and what is the purpose. Purpose is not all these material things. When we start looking at it materially, we'll make a big mistake, we'll lose. It's one important point to note. Of course, sometimes we feel comfortable with people of certain intellectual ground or that, this and all that. Because we are sadhakas, you can also have that. But you must understand that Krishna consciousness, pure devotion sprouts where there is pure devotion. Bhakti sanjayate bhakti. Bhakti produces bhakti. Material life does not produce bhakti. Material association does not produce bhakti. It only kills bhakti. So don't think that you can stay somewhere in a small kundu somewhere, make your own bhajana kutir and stay there and chant Hare Krishna and say, I don't want the association of anybody, all or this, that, and stay in some isolated place. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that if you do that, you are doing the greatest cheating. He said you are doing the greatest cheating. Your mind is cheating you. You are trying to stay away from the association of devotees. You will not be able to make progress so easily. So this is the real challenge. The challenge is, you must know how to take association, how to take sangha. Our criterion here, Prabhupada is saying, is that they are always absorbed in devotional service to Krishna. Prabhupada is saying here, 24 hours a day, very busy in devotional service. That is the criterion. The association in devotional activities is just like the waves of an incessantly flowing river. In our Krishna Consciousness Society, we have full engagement 24 hours a day. Every moment of our time is always busily engaged in the service of the Lord. This is called the incessant flow of devotional service. It's given a definition for that very clearly. So, it is up to us to take advantage of that. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Of course, people have various different other considerations also. But how to take association? Normally we need 3 types of association. I normally teach this to you when you're having Vaishnava Sadachar course or some other course. also in Nectar of Instruction and all that in Bhakti Shastri. We need 3 types of association. Association of somebody who is senior to you. Association of somebody who is equal to you. Same level. And you also need to associate with people who are junior to you. Why? Those who are junior to you, you give association. When you give association to them, you get a lot of benefit. You are actually associating with even a junior. Association with a junior also gives you great Krishna conscious benefit. Don't think that, oh, you are junior here, I am giving, you take. No, you are getting an opportunity to give. And that opportunity to give helps you to reconsider things in your head. That person becomes a recipient. Something transcendental is working here. You should not think materially. You give association to somebody who is junior to you, and you will have a certain inspiration from that. And there is also a certain material good feeling also in that. These two are different. And you must not go for it because of the second reason. The first reason is you have a feeling that I have done the great charity of sharing Krishna consciousness. Whatever I know, that makes me feel good. Why? I am used as an instrument by Krishna for conveying this to this person. Thank you very much, Krishna. That's finished, period. But if you start thinking, see how I am respected. See how they are listening to me. See, I am great. And obviously people who are junior will be, Prabhu, and pay namaskaram to you. Very good. Good for your spiritual life. Ellaru namaskaram panunga. Very good. Because it is mentioned you must pay obeisances to senior. Correct. You are all shastrically correct, everything correct. But what is happening inside your head is wrong. Everything else is correct. He is getting benefit, but you are not getting benefit if you think like this. Very subtly Maya will catch you. But if you think, like Prabhupada said, all of you are sent by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to me to help me carry out his mission. This is the way I am going to look at you. He set it right from the beginning. You are all not juniors or somebody who don't know. You already know you have been sent here. You have taken birth in foreign lands. And that's all the plan of Krishna. So I see it as something that my spiritual master is facilitating me. Krishna is facilitating me. And you have all been sent by him. I came here alone to America with no association. But now look, I have association of so many. He said that. He considered it to be association. Although you are my disciple, I am getting association from you. I came here alone. See how kind Krishna is. He has given me so much association. You can see the way Prabhupada looks at it and the way we will look at it. That is why we like preaching very much. Why? It's easy. It's from top to down. I give instruction, you listen. No opposition. No opposition. And you pay obeisances to me. You give me dakshana, you give me nice prasadam to eat. And I will eat, and then I feel something is very nice about this. There's always competition between me and my wife for who is actually the authority here. And if I go and preach to other people also, they ask questions which I don't know the answer for. There's so many ways it is difficult here. But here, even if I bluff, they'll listen to me. So nice. I like to preach. I like to preach. What service you like to do? I don't like to do that service. I like to preach. I'm a preacher. It's good. Second type of association with peers, same type of people, same age group, same level of realization. That is very nice because it's very friendly and you're able to express yourself. And even if you're wrong, they'll say, hey, shut up, it's not right. And they'll continue with you. Then you'll say, oh, I'll argue with you, and they'll set you right. And they don't mind. With friends, you can have a difference of opinion. They don't take it very seriously. Even if you can fight and you can box him on his nose, next morning he'll call you, is that okay? Did you go to the hospital? Shall I come? That's peers association. It's always nice. You can express what all you want to express, your difficulties, that, this, everything. And you need that to unload your chest. Somebody to hear, listen to me. And you can deeply discuss Krishna consciousness. Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki. Then the other type of association is somebody higher than me. Somebody elder to me, senior to me, more realized in Krishna consciousness, in some position. That I should also have that association. In fact, that is very important. That's the type of association being spoken about here. If I don't have that association, I will not get corrected. That association is difficult to take on the false ego. Because you are told very clearly, this is wrong, don't do like this. Not good for your spiritual life. I am very happy, the right mood is, I am very happy that somebody is taking care of me and telling, don't do this. Do it this way. I am so happy Krishna has sent somebody for me. The other side of it is, you feel your false ego is tested always, it's very uncomfortable. I prefer to always be preaching than to meet any of my seniors. Because some correction they will give. It is difficult to be with them. But it is actually good for you. Very good for you, very important for you. Because you're getting beaten. Your false ego gets beaten, your material ideas get beaten, and you get reoriented. Uncompromisingly, because a senior devotee will not bother. He's meeting so many such people every day. So he'll say, no, don't do like this, do like this. But, no, it's good for you. Next, he'll go to the next person. So you feel, how dare. Everything of mine is smashed. Sometimes you also get appreciation from a senior devotee. Thank you very much, this is very good. Nicely you did this. So that makes you feel very encouraged in Krishna consciousness. So this is required. 3 types of association. A person senior to you, a person of the same level, peer level, and junior. But you should know how to handle each one of this. Because there are mistakes you can make and the right things you can do. That is why a devotee is not associating mindlessly. Carefully is associating. He knows what he wants. In a society where everybody knows this hierarchy of association, what I need, everyone knows. And everybody gives what is needed. There's a big give and take of Krishna consciousness. That is a very high level society. They are transacting the most wealthy, richest commodity, Bhakti. The economy there is based on Bhakti. Bhakti is the currency. I give you, you give me. Bhakti credits are being exchanged. And it's being exchanged very freely. Simply why? You're interested. He's telling here, I'll become mad hearing your pastimes from the devotees. I simply want that. That's all I want. So sometimes people will ask, why can't we simply do like this here every day? Get up, do kirtan, hear Bhagavat and keep hearing and eat a lot of prasadam and dance and chant and go for yatra. That is all life should be about. You're right. That's all life should be. But it's not happening like that. Not happening like that. Why? Because we are not so pure to be able to do that. It's not pure to do. In the spiritual world, it is always like that. Fully like that only. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. No other work to do. Even Krishna doesn't do any other work. He just, with his devotees, doing pastimes all the time. That is the main work. Actually, our main job is simply devotional service. What is devotional service? In the morning you have to get up for Mangalarati, chant Hare Krishna, then go to the project and do this and go and collect funds and then preach and distribute books and then manage the accounts and then manage this and manage. So difficult, but the Krishna book looks so nice. So different. It is because you cannot live like this. If I give you morning to evening chanting, dancing and all that, first thing you'll do is sleep in the class. Next thing you do is eat more than necessary. Because of that, you'll sleep some more outside the class. Sleeping time, you should sleep, no? Class time I slept, it's okay. That's okay. But sleeping time, I should definitely sleep. Then, because you do these two things, Prabhupada explains in Nectar of Instruction, then you'll start doing other things. Your head will start telling you other things. Then mischief will start from your side. Then you'll see that devotee knows. He's like, you'll start criticizing devotees. Then you'll start unnecessarily judging. You'll start problem. Then in the society, many people are doing this, association will be spoiled. So Prabhupada started a movement wherein he's telling, enough if you read 1 hour a day. Get up in the morning, chant your rounds, go and distribute books, go. No, Prabhupada, somebody said, I am watching the deities. Keeping on watching the deities for too long. He said, take the book bag and go out. He said, stop your darshan, go and distribute books. You are not in that platform of Krishna, Krishna, how beautiful you look. You are not in that platform. Your association in the community will get spoiled if you sit down like this in front. Go and distribute my books. Go and work with your mind, body, words, intelligence and do something for the mission. That is why there should be a good balance between these two. Good balance between these two. Why? Because we are not capable of handling 24 hours of pure devotional service at all. It's not possible. So there are other activities. So each one should understand what he should do in association with somebody senior who can guide him. Good balance. You should nicely design the devotional service and your time for yourself with the help of your mentor. And you should be very honest about it. Some people can do more. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada can do 48 hours in 24 hours. He was doing 48 to 56 hours devotional service within 24 hours. He beat time also. He'll do like this, he'll do like that. He'll do so many things and then tell him to do this. And he'll do so many things he would do. A worldwide movement he was managing within 12 years. He spread it and wrote so many books and traveled 14 times around the world. Tons of things he can do. Time becomes his servant for a pure devotee like him. But we are not at all like that. We need a pakka timetable, sadhana, and we have to do it at the right time. If we miss it out, that's it. Finished. Lost. So design your life so that you can have good association in good balance. And hear Krishna Katha every day. That is where another very important point mentioned. I become mad hearing your stories. Your wonderful glorification. This is how the word his story came. Children are studying geography, history. No, it is his story. That's how it became history. But everybody is interested in telling my story. Actually, everywhere, everybody wants to talk about themselves. Right? Although there is history textbook in which somebody's story is mentioned, except for Krishna's story. And therefore it is not his story. In the Bhagavatam, there is fully his story. Continuously. Right? But people will speak their story only. Everybody wants to hear my story. and put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram. See me. The problem with the social media is constantly you focus on my story. And in order to enhance my story, you use his story. Krishna's story. You use Krishna's story to enhance my story. You see, I'm a person who knows his story. Therefore, listen to my story. It's all about story. All about story. But Krishna is saying, Katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Regularly listen to my story about my pastimes. Don't keep listening to that political fellow's thing, that fellow, this film actor, that model, that cricket player, this fellow, Lionel Messi, this, that. No, don't keep hearing. Listen to Krishna's story. That's why Prabhupada wrote a book, Krishna book, only Krishna's story. He made it very clear. I always wonder, why did Prabhupada write this Krishna book like this? It's very sweet, it's very wonderful. But over a period of long time, I've been wondering. I thought first that, he couldn't have finished the 10th canto because it's too long, 90 chapters. So he very intelligently wrote off in prose format. In this way, he finished 10 cantos. But I understand later that, so that he wants to substitute every story with Krishna's story. His story, her story, my story, everything gone, only Krishna's story. Like that. So it is mentioning here, Dhruva Maharaj rightly saying, I become mad when I hear stories about you, not about me. I have done a great thing now. I have seen you. People are going to talk about me. They're going to talk about my story. And my story will come up in the Srimad Bhagavatam also later. And we are all speaking about Dhruva's story. But I want to listen to your story only. You see, clearly the pure devotees, what do they think? Others are speaking about their story. And Prabhupada said this also. When Prabhupada was asked what will happen in the future, our movement and all that, he said, in the future they'll talk about me. He told me. For me that's a very stunning. He has written so much about Krishna's story and all the time he has been speaking about Krishna's story. And when they asked in future, they'll talk about me. Then they said, what? They'll talk about me, a person who came in the dark hours of human society and changed the course of history. They'll talk about me. Because he was selling, why? Because I brought Krishna to the whole world. I brought Krishna's story to the whole world. I brought the Harinam Sankirtan. I brought Krishna Nama. I gave all these books. They'll talk about me. Just like we're talking about Dhruva Maharaj. Why? His wonderful pastime of seeing the Lord is so nice to hear. Every moment of it is something to learn. So Prabhupada said they will talk about my story. And we tell people correctly, did you read Leelamrita? Compulsory you must read. If you want to do Bhakti Shastra, you must read Leelamrita. It is Prabhupada's story. I'm supposed to read Krishna's story. No, first you read Prabhupada's story. Then only you'll understand Krishna's story. It's come to that point, you see. Prabhupada just casually mentioned it. He came and did what he's supposed to do very nicely, paka. But before going, he said, they'll speak about me. You just give a small hint, they'll speak about me. Why? I have brought you Krishna's story. Right? I made the whole world fortunate. So it is mentioned, what is the meaning of fortune in the Bhagavatam? Fortune means getting the association of devotees. That is called Bhagya, fortune. Fortune does not mean Lakshmi is pouring on me wealth. That is actually misfortune for Bhakti. Jataka romba nalla irukanga, you are going to become very rich. Finished. Your Krishna consciousness is finished. If you look at it from the viewpoint of Bhakti and Sangha, your Krishna, unless you are very well trained how to handle wealth. Right? So fortune, which I often quote, a very wonderful quotation happening in Prabhupada's life. Prabhupada is being asked by this devotee, how did I become like this? 1.5 years back I was hanging around on the road like a bum, drunken, drug addict I was. Now I become completely different. I wake up in the morning, I chant Hare Krishna, my life is totally changed. So Prabhupada told him and said, I brought you good fortune. I am the reason for it. You must know it. You must know it. Otherwise you will go and blabber something else later. This is science. It is as per Shastra that by the association of the devotee, everything will change for you. Your life will change completely. So it's so precious, so important to have association of devotees, maintain it properly, and in the Krishna conscious movement, give it to everybody else. This is our responsibility. Now, Prabhupada is saying that in the purport. It is meant for this purpose. So it is our duty to maintain the sanctity, the purity of association, so that others will benefit. So many people are coming. They come only when it is New Year. For them, New Year is a greatly auspicious year which they have forgotten to mention in the Panchika. Panchagathala, yeah, New Year podavella Tithi. They only put Pongal is New Year, or they put some other Tamil New Year's Day. They not put January 1st, New Year Day. Something wrong with your calendar. But although it is not in the calendar, it is a most auspicious day. Everybody is coming to see the deity to the temple. At least the day they are coming. It's perfectly all right. We don't mind. 365 days a year it becomes New Year. We don't mind. At least that time you come to see the Lord and you do some seva. But people are coming. They're actually sent by Krishna. Inspired by him in the heart. Go to Jagannath temple. And they come here, they stand in front of the deities, they pray to the Lord, they offer something in the hundi, they bring fruits, flowers, vegetables. They should be reciprocated with. They should be given association. That's our duty. They are coming for association. What Prabhupada said, International Krishna Consciousness is meant to provide this. So I am sending people. Krishna is sitting as Paramatma in the heart. It's very easy for him to tell Angapo, go to Jagannath temple. And if you come here and nobody attends to them, Prabhuji, எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிஸியாக இருக்கு. I have to chant my rounds now, remaining rounds are there. I cannot visit all these people who are coming. We all have our reasons, genuine reasons. So Krishna alone will give association to them and they will go away. So is it not also your duty? It's a duty. Same thing is happening in a bank, no? They'll get up out of their seat and come, please sit down. And they'll do relationship banking with them. I want to put my hand in your pocket and take your money, but that is considered to be unethical. So I'll do it in a nice way. I'll show you this. I am reaching out for your pocket. I see a lot of money in your pocket. Right? I want that money. Put it in this bag. So, I need something from you, I do. Same way when people come here, do you need anything from them? I don't need anything from them. I chant Hare Krishna purely, I go back to Godhead. No, you need, because Krishna needs them. And you are a servant of Krishna. You are a representative of Krishna. And what Krishna needs, you need. So you should describe to them who is Krishna. You should tell them to chant Hare Krishna. You should represent Krishna and Prabhupada to them. Then you are giving association. And when you do that, you will feel very nice. I gave him association, introduced him to Krishna. In this way, our society is crafted and designed scientifically by Prabhupada. It's not simply some association of a few people who want to enjoy life in some particular way by dancing and jumping and eating prasadam and doing a few things. That's not the way it is. It's got a very deep science. Everything we do here, it's got a purpose. And that purpose is association. And the purpose is hearing Krishna Katha, being absorbed in Krishna consciousness. This is very, very essential to know. That's why you will see Prabhupada has written here. Wherever Prabhupada explains, you will see that he introduces what he is doing, why he is doing, is in line with what is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. He will keep saying that in the purport. and you can see the connection. If you read 2 times, you'll see it will hit you very strongly. Oh, that is why we are doing this. He has got a very clear reason. Very clear, very scientifically designed institution. It is not just somebody designed something. That is why it is running on even when Prabhupada is physically not present. But everybody knows he is present in his books, in all the temples. When anybody speaks, Prabhupada is present. If you read his books, he is present. So every sincere devotee can feel the presence of Prabhupada, can feel his mission, gets inspired to do something about his mission, and gets benefited. You get benefit. So we are not simply doing something like, Bharat Mata ki Jai, or our association Reddiyar community ki Jai. We are all getting together and we are great. We are separate type of people. They are, see, that community, we are better than that community. We are not concerned with any communities. This is absolute truth. It's mentioned by Krishna. And we are giving this absolute truth to every community, anybody, any jiva. Not even human body, does not matter. That is the business of the Krishna consciousness movement. To give it to every jiva. Even in a cockroach body, in a lizard body, it's meant for him. This is Krishna consciousness movement. This is ISKCON. Om Tat Sat Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Any questions or comments that you would like to make?
Whenever I take association, I'm able to stay high, but not forever. So, especially when I'm engaged in some service that's allotted to me, I do it Krishna unconscious.
You see, you have to be in the conditioned state. It's called sadhana. It does not matter if you are not like consciously connected like that and you are doing it. But since you are doing it under the order of Guru and you are doing what's required, it becomes relevant. Prabhupada said that under the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, if you do, it connects you. Gradually, that's the meaning of him saying ripe mango and unripe mango. You'll be able to do the service fully consciously. One thing is to be self-conscious, the other thing is to be Krishna-conscious. Our problem is we are not even self-conscious. We are not even knowing that I, spirit, soul, doing this. That much also we don't know. What to speak of we thinking that I am part and parcel of Krishna and Krishna like that. So sometimes we are in a stage where we are in the modern world they'll call it mindfulness. Mindfully execute. Actually what they mean is consciously execute. You know who is doing, why you're doing, where you're involved, what is the purpose, and you do it with that. That's consciously doing. But in Krishna consciousness, this service is absolute. The service itself is absolute. Prabhupada said that if you touch fire, you'll also become of the nature of fire. He used that as an example. So even though you may not be very conscious, since the activity is for Krishna and it is meant to be offered to him, it has got the potency of arousing Krishna consciousness in you. That is the meaning of a sadhaka. Sadhaka does not mean immediately he gets up in the morning, he'll be fusing with Krishna consciousness. Not. He's trying to be like that. That's the meaning of sadhaka. Right? Prabhupada is not a sadhaka, that we know. He can just go anywhere and sit anywhere and be fully conscious of Krishna all the time. And he can just speak. If he speaks, it becomes as good as... I used to say that every time. I never seen Prabhupada retract at any time he is lecturing or anything. I'm sorry, not that. And then he corrects it and all. You'll never see him doing that. It's very amazing. It goes in one line like that, one straight line. No retraction at all anywhere. The living entity is da 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 da. He'll never say, no, I mean to say, he doesn't correct himself at all. You have seen that? When he's lecturing, one line will come like solid, filled with potency. He'll talk like that. He'll talk slowly, Krishna consciously. Every moment he's thinking of Krishna and talking. You can make out from the speed and from the controlled way he talks. Not passionately, excitedly and all that. Just, it delivers Krishna with them. You will never see him. That I can understand that this person is fully 100% Krishna conscious. You see? We can often make mistakes and this and that, and what is that shloka and all, we'll ask. Prabhupada, rarely you will see him asking, because of old age, you forgot, he will mix the shlokas together sometimes. I was thinking that he mixed the last line of that, then somebody told me it is not mixed. There are two versions of Bhagavad Gita in which this is the correct thing and that's correct thing. But Prabhupada has written the common thing, but when he's quoting the other version. He's not wrong. I was very surprised. Sometimes he mixes up the lines in ecstasy. He knows, it just comes out of him like that, like an instrument. He's just, Krishna is speaking through him like that. So we are not like that. We are not like that. We should simply be sadhakas and be instruments for carrying out Prabhupada's message. I don't know, I'll refer and tell you. That's all. There's nothing wrong in it. That is my consciousness right now. It will become fully Krishna conscious. It will become ripe mango. It's now unripe mango. I am in no hurry to make it artificially ripe by putting it in a smoke, this thing, for selling it in the market. And don't artificially ripen it. Naturally ripen it. It will ripe slowly. Be patient. We are anyway patients. Any other question or comment? Yeah.
Maharaj, how to see only good things from a devotee?
How to see only good things in a devotee? Good question. How to see good things? Well, you see, our judgment of people becomes good and bad when it is material. So there is nothing called good things in a devotee. Everything is good. But since we are sadhakas, we are in the material world, we see good and bad. And that is why Varnashrama is there. That's why, but actually, you'll see Prabhupada's thing, all of my disciples are all pure devotees, he says once. And then some other times he will say that even if, he said, but my spiritual master said, even if he can make one pure devotee, his mission is successful. But I have many pure devotees as my disciples. Then he also mentioned, what is the use of so many stars that don't give light? One moon is enough to light up the whole night. But I have created many moons, he said like that. So Prabhupada was very positive because he was seeing in an absolute way. He was saying this person is chanting Hare Krishna, it doesn't matter, all his other things will disappear. The good qualities is chanting Hare Krishna and he's become a devotee. That alone he saw. And he encouraged that. Other things will take care of itself, gradually. But in management and all that, sometimes we have to see difference. There are good and bad in this world. There is traffic law and all that. You cannot, just cross the line, yellow line and go and that I am devotee, for me, everything is transcendental. You'll have an accident. Then you'll have to ask yourself, I'm transcendental, what happened to me? My hand is broken, my leg is broken. Why? Because again, you're transcendental, you should not feel it is leg broken back. That's the answer. Because you cross the line, transcendentally. Accident also happened transcendentally. You should also think about it transcendentally. That's all Krishna consciousness. Why don't you do that? When you say, that's where I've made a mistake. You went into it transcendentally, come out of it also transcendentally. So it is difficult for us to look at things without bad and good. That's the conditioning we are in. Therefore, there is varnashrama, there is good and bad, and you should not do good and this thing. But actually, if a person is doing a transcendental activity, that is the best portion of him. So that's why if one person is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, doing something for Krishna, he comes and puts some donation, he takes some charanamritam, he does some interaction and all that, that is of great value for him. So we see that, he's doing that, it's very good. Very good. Sometimes because of familiarity with a person, you start seeing the material good and bad. It's very difficult to control yourself, especially if you're managing an institution, is even more difficult. Most austere thing it is. Very austere. People don't agree also, and there's difference of opinion also, and it's sometimes so challenging that people say, forget it, I'm going home and chanting Hare Krishna. I'll be on my own. But we have to learn to be in the association of devotees and control yourself from materially judging, or do it only when it is required for the sake of that person's correction, for the society's well-being and for other devotees' well-being, and stay detached from that. There's a way of doing it. That you must. Prabhupada did that. He would sometimes get angry and say, which rascal has done this? He would ask, which rascal is responsible for this? Very angry he was. Nonsense. And other times most times he was like very happy and peaceful. But he would show a standard, this is the way to mind, don't do this. You shout very strongly. People were very afraid of coming near Prabhupada. Like that. Both. So we should not mistake. We should understand properly. Okay? Any other question or comment? Yeah.
From Alila Mataji, how to identify a sincere devotee?
Don't try to. Don't try to. By saying that, we are claiming that I am a sincere devotee, I want to find out who is a sincere devotee. Sometimes your mind is actually trying to tell you that. So, mostly in the world we are all struggling for sincerity. Of course, I don't mean to say that somebody is insincere. I mean to say that you have to be relatively placed to ask a relative question. That means who is not sincere also you must be able to point out. Then only you can point out who is sincere. Both you are able to do that means. That means you are good and bad, you have to make distinction. So this is what I was trying to say. Lord Chaitanya, when he was Nimai Pandit, he was stopped from going to school because he was very mischievous. People said all sorts of things. His father said, stop going to school. Stay at home and you learn. Homeschooling you do, which is very common. But Nimai Pandit wants to go out and meet with the friends and all. So what he did is, staying in the house with the mother, he did certain things. You know, those days they're all cooking with a chetty pani. And once cooking, after over, they'll throw it. In the backyard, there'll be a huge pile of them. Used pots, broken pots. Nimai went and sat on top of it. And he was fiddling around with something. Generally. Then his mother came, hey, that is all moochi, all used things. Why are you sitting on that? That is rubbish, that is garbage. Get on from me fast. Then he sat down there and he said, no. Everything is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Yehi bhalo, yehi manda, sabai, what is it? This is good, this is bad, is all mental concoction. This is good, this is bad, is all mental concoction. He started speaking philosophy sitting on top of it. So then his mother said, no, but in practical life, there are good and bad. Otherwise, we cannot live in this world. You have to make sure that this is good and this is bad. His mother argued with him and said, that is wrong philosophy. And she argued and made him get down. And then she went and told Jagannath Mishra, send him to school, better. Send him to school, better. He's speaking wrong philosophy. So that he did that for that purpose only. He went back to school. But he gave an amazing philosophy, and he had this discussion with his mother, who is also nothing less in philosophy. There it is mentioned, he gave this, to say that this is good and this is bad is a mental concoction. Similarly, to say that this person is sincere, that person is not sincere, we should first see, do I need to do this? Do I really need to do this? Only then you should do it. Because if you make a mistake, it will cost you big things, especially if you are interacting with that person on a regular basis. I don't care whether one of the politicians is sincere or not. Generally speaking, we'll think they are not sincere, all of them. That general thing, you cannot say, is a thief sincere or not? For him, in his gang, they'll also, we're all very sincerely stealing. They're all very sincere in the gang. Prabhupada spoke about the morality of a thief. You know the morality of a thief? Ellarum thirudranga gangla, but gang leader, when they bring everything, is saying, be very fair. Everybody should get equal share. Our gang leader is so morally, ethically correct. Be careful. We will be doing the wrong moral, ethical. Foundationally you are wrong. You stole. And then after that you are speaking about moral ethics. Politicians are all like that only. They are foundationally completely wrong. And they will speak about this. Many philosophers are also like that. Great things. Foundationally you are wrong. So this, whether to find out somebody is sincere or not, we should not make a foundational mistake. That's my point. Okay? Om Tat Sat. Wishing you a happy new year.
Today is a new year and a lot of new people and very senior initial devotees.